chaos across Europe. Its sister, Katla, could go global. But how bad could it get? In 1783, in southern Iceland, the gates of hell appeared to open. A crack in the ground 17 miles long, with fountains of magma shooting nearly a mile into the air. This nightmare continued for 8 months, making it one of the biggest volcanic eruptions in recorded history. It happened right here at a place called Laki. I've come to investigate the worst-case scenario for an Icelandic eruption, and to see how the potential global impact of Katla stacks up against it. Most people have heard of volcanoes like Vesuvius and Krakatoa. Their eruptions were major events in history, and they killed tens of thousands of people. But the thing is, Laki just hasn't entered public consciousness in quite the same way. And that's a bit surprising, because it's believed to have killed up to 1 million people. Scientist Thor Thordarson has analysed the remains of the eruption and built up a picture of what it would have looked like to the people living here 2¼ centuries ago.
You certainly would see a wall in front of you, a curtain of fire, which could be anywhere from 1 mile to up to 3 or 4 miles long at any one point in time.
Yeah.
And about 1 mile high. And above that you would have ash and other fumes rising up to 7, 8 miles up into the sky.
The magma that shot out of the fissure left its mark on the landscape. And today you can see it as a raised scar of volcanic cones that stretch for 17 miles. That's longer than Manhattan Island. What kind of rate are we talking about? How fast was it ejecting all this lava?
Well, the highest discharge, or the greatest flux that came out of these vents during this eruption, is about 150,000 cubic feet per second.
Say that again? 150,000?
Yes, 150,000 cubic feet per second.
That just blows my mind. I can't even imagine. Per second?
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Yes. The
landscape that all this ejecta left behind is quite unlike any volcano I've ever seen before. This is called a spatter cone. Here at the bottom, which is now a crater, would have been the vent, spewing out great amounts of lava. Some of the bits would be huge lumps that wouldn't travel very far, and so they'd fall around the vent, creating this cone shape. And now the vent's been filled up by groundwater and it's become this beautiful lake. And then you can see the direction of the lava flow down that valley. And then over here is the next crater in the line. Along with fountains of molten rock and clouds of ash, volcanic eruptions also release toxic gases. But in such small quantities, they rarely have an impact. It's only in massive eruptions that these invisible killers are able to exert their influence. And we certainly know this is true of Laki. And this cone was formed in June. That's the first month when all of this happened. And there's this really great account that was written by a priest who lived here at the time that really describes what it must have been like. And this is the bit that he wrote. This said week and the 2 prior to it, more poison fell from the sky than words can describe. Ash, volcanic hairs, rain full of sulphur and saltpeter, all of which was mixed with sand. The snouts, nostrils and feet of livestock grazing or walking on the grass turned bright yellow and raw. All the earth's plants burned, withered and turned grey, one after another, as the fire increased and neared the settlements. This really does paint a very vivid picture. And when it comes to those volcanic hairs that he speaks about,